Rejection is truly redirection. Hi, I'm a model and an actress of 10 years. Garrett is a model and actor of
20 years. So, to say the least, we have definitely experienced a lot of rejection in our lives. In this industry, it's constant, it's chronic, it's daily. Um, but there is a positive to all the rejection, and it ends up being a shedding of the ego, a growth in your own self worth and self confidence. And there is a positive to all the constant, what appears to be negative. Um, and it can be very challenging, especially at first when like you just want whatever you're chasing so badly, and yet you just rejection. But we're not the only ones that face rejection. All of society faces rejection in their own way, whether it's their work or relationships or whatever it is. And just know that through the struggle of rejection, you can find the positive in all of it.
Absolutely. Rejection is a part of the human experience. We will all be rejected in some way, shape, or form multiple times throughout our lifetime. And for me, speaking from personal experience, the rejection took a huge toll on me when I was in a more asleep state, in a lower state of my consciousness. And when I faced all that rejection starting at 18 years old, going into my early 20s, it crippled me. It really challenged my sense of self. It challenged my self worth, my enoughness. And I really got pushed to a point of really having to be honest with myself about the fact that the rejection was challenging whether or not I felt like I was enough in this world as I am, as I was at that moment in time.
And for like us personally, I think that's where you have to choose yourself over choosing the job or the industry, because that's not going to save you. That's not going to fulfill you. You need to figure out how to cope with that in itself and still choose you and heal you and be okay with you, even when no one else is.
Mm-hmm. You're getting redirected back to yourself, exactly like he's saying. You're getting redirected to the fact that you shouldn't place your sense of self and your worthiness in the hands of another or in anything else. You deem your sense of self and your worthiness. You strengthen your self-esteem. You are responsible for seeing yourself. And in our industry in particular, we ended up finding out that the rejection was truly just a lack of us not being aligned to the project, to the exact role that we were auditioning for, or we were up for, or we were seeking.
And sometimes it even saves you from a bad experience. That happened to me when I was up for a massive ad campaign at the age of 23. And I wanted it so badly because it would totally change my life, change my career. It would have gone like straight up. And then just recently, a couple of years ago, a documentary came out and it totally shed the light on how negative of an experience that actually would have been. And so in that sense, like, yeah, you're upset because you got rejection, but the universe saved you.
Yeah, you were protected in that moment.
And that can apply to anything. That can apply to a job you wanted so badly and you didn't get it. Maybe there was corruption, or maybe a relationship. It protected you because it protected you from abuse or whatever it is. So that's when you just really have to accept the rejection and say, that's not me. It's not because of my fault. And find out how to raise yourself in order to be, comfortable with that rejection, and just trust that it's going to be okay. Trust that the next opportunity is out there. Trust that the universe is looking out for you.
Yeah, trust what's aligned to you can never pass you by at that moment in time. And maybe you're drawn to something that you think is aligned to you at that moment, but maybe it's meant for a later moment in time, and you have to trust and surrender to that knowing. I've also been redirected, rejected in relationship scenarios, and it protected me from toxic cycles um, that I recognized outside of the situation I would have remained within should I have ended up with that person. Everything happens for a reason, and the biggest blessing of all the rejection that we've faced in this short amount of time in our lifetimes, because it seems long, but in the span of a lifetime, we've faced a lot of rejection in a short amount of time. And it's intense, but it really just wakes you up. It really wakes you up, and it kills off the toxic part of your ego.
Mm-hmm.
The part of your ego that thinks, you should be picked just because. The toxic part of that feels possessive over things, that feels, just out of balance.
Yeah, the toxic part that makes you think you're better than anyone else,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally not true. We're all the same person. We're all cut from the same cloth. We're just different variations, and we need to be more accepting of everyone. And I think when you lose your ego, you find that humility in order to serve, in order to spread kindness, in order to lift up someone else in society and raise the bar and raise society in that manner.
Mm-hmm. And then you develop a healthy sense of ego, because the ego always remains. But when you get in touch with that healthier side of the ego, you start to realize who you are. You get in your power within your true authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at right
Yeah.
now.
And you can find it too. It will be challenging at times. It will be hard. Just handle it with grace. Give yourself grace. That's what you need. You deserve it. And we'll see you at the other side of the tunnel.
Bye, guys.